Yes guys, welcome back to another YouTube video, weekly breakdown, weekly forecasts. What a week it was last week. What a week it was. Very profitable week in the groups. Friday not so much, there was a little bit of a lost day, but we had an absolute hell of a lot of stuff going on with gold, especially. Gold producing all-time highs. $2,400 per ounce was met on Friday, and then it all of a sudden just collapsed quite late on Friday afternoon, Friday evening my time. So I don't trade Fridays anyway, so I wasn't actually in the markets or sending any setups out. But yeah, gold just collapsed from around 24, 25 I think it was, and then yeah, just collapsed all the way back down to 23.45. 800 odd pips it collapsed on Friday. But obviously what a move it would have been if you'd caught that. I wasn't looking at the charts, so I didn't actually see any of it happen. My main move came on Thursday, caught a nice 445 pip move, roughly about 2% gain in one day, which is good. Obviously only risk 0.5%, especially when it comes to gold anyway. So that was a 2% gain on that. I'll show you the setups I took on the computer. But yeah, it's been a good week. A lot of good traction, a lot of new people wanting to get involved. Still a few haters out there saying that it's all a scam and this, that and the other. But I've kind of just got to the point where, you know, when it comes to those sort of people, they wouldn't make it in trading anyway. To anybody that thinks it's a scam and thinks the groups are a scam and this, that and the other and it's not legit, you can find it out for yourself by just watching these YouTube videos. I show you the group, I show you the setups that we've taken, I show you the profit shots. What more can make it not a scam? I mean, because the FX industry is so saturated now with all these different people that obviously aren't traders and that do make the trading space look like a scam. You know, it's just tarnishing people with the same brush. Like I said, I've been doing this for 5-6 years now, putting stuff on my socials from 2021. Like I reiterate to people, this was before I even knew who Harrison was, before I started doing content for Am and Nat and Switzy, so before I even knew who they were. You know, I was still barbering, doing my barbering work and still doing Deliveroo in the evening. So being classed as a scammer does make me laugh. At the end of the day, anybody that is a trader will know that traders make mistakes. You know, I made mistakes last year. I had funds set up on Finesse FX. One of those I was doing really well on, and then someone behind the scenes told me to get an algorithm involved and trade alongside it, and it just didn't work, and it blew the funds due to the fact that, you know, algorithms need to have a certain account balance, and they also need to hedge positions in, and that algorithm didn't know that I was trading alongside it as well. So if I was in drawdown, the algorithm was just taking away free margin. There was also when we swapped liquidity providers on the broker, the liquidity provider that we swapped to definitely 100% manipulated spreads, especially on Sunday market open or the daily resets. And I've got multiple screenshots to prove that from MT5, which was the platform that we worked on. So, you know, all these types of things, I've got over that. At the end of the day, I've got over that. It is what it is, but, you know, some people still like to live in the past. And also when it comes to the affiliation stuff, I think I've already spoken about this on a video where I said that yes, I affiliate for Axie. So yes, I do make commission on people that sign up. You simply deposit your money and then you get sent into the group alongside two of the most important videos that everyone should watch, which is MT4 for Dummies and the risk management video. So before you even go in and take your first trade, you are told how to correctly risk manage a £250 account. Now, if you choose to fully ignore that, jump in and start trading like a dickhead, there's not really much else I can do. I can't force any more information down your throats before, you know, you take that first trade. Those two videos are the most, out of all of the stuff that I've done, those two videos are the most important. But anyway, let's jump over to the charts and we will check out what last week was like and what this week is going to be like as well. It's going to be very interesting. Today is Sunday, obviously, and I already know that what has happened over the weekend will affect the market, especially gold, on market open tonight. So with that being said, let's have a look.
Right, yes guys, here we are on the charts. Obviously we always start off on the gold charts, but you know, look at that right there. 24.26 was where we tapped on Friday. Like I said, I was off then. I wasn't looking at the charts, but I saw the group popping off and saying that, oh my god, look at gold, it's flying and blah blah blah. But yeah, look how the daily close actually ended. We closed below Thursday's high. Even though we took the high and set the all-time high, we closed back in the range. Now, there's one or two things here that I think is quite interesting. It's almost like the market knows what's going to happen, okay? And the reason why I say this is because we closed back in the daily range. Stuff's happened over this weekend. I don't know if anybody actually pays attention to what's going on in the world and the economic news and all this sort of stuff. War has kicked off in Israel big time, okay? I haven't got the logistics behind it all, but I know for a fact that America is going to get involved, Israel and all these other things of like missiles and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into big depth by it, but what I've said to you guys in the past is things like gold become a safe haven. So people invest money into gold when, physical assets like gold, when stuff like wars kick off, okay? Now, obviously that stuff hadn't kicked off on Friday, but we set all-time highs, okay? And within the space of a day, i.e. market closed on Friday, Saturday is when shit started kicking off, and today I think has even got worse. That means that when market opens tonight at 10 p.m, we can expect, or I expect, that gold is going to basically gap to the upside. So looking at this on the 4 hour, we had this breakout, okay? So we were in a bit of a descending channel, and this was my first setup. Now this was on, I think, Wednesday. So we had inflation and stuff like that on Wednesday. I was actually out on a yacht, so I wasn't trading it because it was news anyway, but this was the setup that I'd sent out, the thesis idea, and then this was the setup that I actually sent out on Thursday. So we let news play out, let it do its fuckery, you know, wicked about this, that and the other, and then this was the actual setup that I sent out. Now, I can show you in the group, just so obviously you guys that want to call me a load of shit can see that it was actually legit. So, here we had gold buy, 23.32, 23.29. Okay, that was the position. Long-term hold, so we had a larger stop loss. It was down at 23.17. So, but it was still only 0.42%, the stop loss. So that was the setup. You can see the TPs 23.37, 23.50, 23.75. So all-time highs previously was at 23.66. So I was expecting us to test all-time highs anyway. Now, this was the area of interest. So here we have, obviously, previous resistance on gold. We broke out of this, we came back and we tested it as support. It held. So we pushed up again, we created all-time highs again. Then we had this slow descent back down and we tested the support level again. Pushed up, didn't have enough momentum to keep going. What did price need to do? Come back down. Test for another one. So 3 tests of this support level before it then shot to the upside. Okay. Now, you know, gold kept going, but this was, I think, market close anyway. Market closed here, and this little dotted line that I have lined out here is for the new, so Friday's low, so Asia low. Asia low decided to keep pushing, and price kept pushing pretty much all of Friday. Now, I was talking in the groups, I was, you know, doing a little bits on my computer, so I was able to kind of mark out different bits and say, oh, you know, this would potentially be a good area. And that, look, you know, we had this break of this resistance area here at 23.90. Seems a little bit odd, but it is around the area of, you know, you could say that it's $24 or whatever. Now, like I said, when you're trading all-time highs, it's very, very difficult to go, right, well, where would be the next target? You know, okay, let's go 24.10. 24.10, that could have been your next target, but you could have taken an entry off of this imbalance here. Bullish momentum candle to the upside, you know, tapping in, swept this previous liquidity, almost equal lows, and then pushed to the upside again. And we hit 24.26, well, 24.30 to be precise. And then market collapsed. Now, I don't know why market collapsed like this. You know, that is a very, very big move to the downside. But when price was coming down anyway, I was looking at late Friday evening and going, right, well, let's see how we react to this this channel that we were in. But again, we pretty much come back down to this support. Now, leaving a lot of imbalances on that down push, but I don't think that's, at the end of the day, that's not what I'm going to be even looking at on Monday. I'm actually quite tempted to stay awake tonight to see what happens with the market, because if there is a way of being able to get in, like, depending on the gap that gold might produce, and when I say gap, so what technically should happen tonight is, even though price has rested here, yeah, it's rested here, when I say gap, what gold could potentially do, because it happens on things like DXY, it happens like on indices and stuff like that, market will open and the candle might open up here, but leave this massive gap here. So there'll be no candlesticks all the way up until this area here. Now, don't ask me how this happens. I don't get it, but that's how it kind of gaps in the market. And it'll either do one or two things. It will just push from where the gap is, or it might fill the gap then push. Because like with things like, let's go to, let me see if I can find a example of it on NASDAQ, maybe. I don't even think I've got NASDAQ. Let me see if I can find a gap. They don't always happen, but on things like NASDAQ and US 500s and all that sort of stuff, they do happen. But this is going to be the case where I can't find one. Higher time frame maybe, lower time frame maybe, don't know. Okay, so I can't find any examples on here. But okay, let me just US yields. Okay, this is kind of what I mean. So if you see here, there's these gaps between these candles. This one's got quite a big gap, okay? Price does come and close these gaps, okay? Before then, you know, pushing back up. And same over here. There's a gap between this candle and this candle. Now, realistically, price should come back at some point to fill these gaps from over here. But it's not going to happen as of yet. But the markets don't like to leave gaps, basically. So that is what I'm thinking is going to happen on gold. Now, where the next upside is, you know, we could see 25, we could see 26. Do you know what I mean? It's just endless. At the end of the day, all the while things like the war is happening, that is going to be the case. Gold is just going to continue to push. You know, same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin took a massive shit, but again, I don't really know about what goes on in Bitcoin and the reasons why all this sort of stuff happens. I just stick to the FX space and commodities. This is the GBPJPY setup. Very, very unfortunate with this. Look, I will show you again for all the haters that say I'm talking shit. GBPJPY sell limit 192,688 So 192,688. Now, again, I will talk through this. We had this push up into this imbalance here, which was based off of the 4 hour. Okay. Now, I had two levels. I had this level here that was seeming, this was acting like a level of resistance. And I was expecting, okay, let's see how it reacts to this liquidity up here, equal highs. And obviously it did take a dump, but this was after that. This was one of the setups that we actually got, I think, last week. So we took this setup here and made money off of it. Then price had reacted again off of to kind of this inverted imbalance here. So this inverted 4 hour imbalance, it reacted off of that. So I'm like, right, okay, price is obviously not ready yet. And we did this slow tricker up to this area of interest again. And I saw these sort of very indecisive 4 hour candles. And I thought, right, do you know what? There is, from previous experience, there is another imbalance here. Okay, why not just set a limit there and see if this is the one where it wants to actually dump from? And lo and behold, it did dump, but not straight away. Problem is, like I've said in previous videos, after a certain amount of movement on a pair, you know, given 50, 60 pips, especially on, you know, currency pairs, I will move stops to break even because it is a decent amount on a pair to move for you to be able to make the trade risk free. Commodities and like gold, a little bit different. 30 to 40 pips on gold, I'm happy to move stops to break even. Just because it's very volatile, and if price wants to come back to our area of entry, then obviously price was never meant to move from that area. Maybe we need to go back in, have a look if there's another downside area that it wants to move from, or an upside area if you're selling. So I had seen this very big bearish engulfing 4 hour candle close and thought, cool, do you know what, that's enough for me, let's move stops to entry. Now, then on Tuesday, price then wanted to push back up into this area again, tap us out at entry, collapse again, then came back up, near on to the entry again, and that's where it wanted to collapse. Now, I'm not butthurt by it, it is what it is. We did close out some good money anyway from that trade. But the overall move, which was about 265, so about 1 to 1.38%, that overall move obviously was the one that I wanted to get, but it didn't happen. But nonetheless, like I've always said in the past, even if we don't make the money off the trade and we do get tapped out at break even or whatever, if price then goes and hits the take profit, the overall take profit, the analysis was still correct. The analysis still counts as a W. That's just the way I look at it. Because if you do this, you know, for a year straight, where you are printing setups out on the charts, and you know you're seeing how the move or how you should have actually got into that trade. Okay, let's for argument's sake, here we go again. 4 hour imbalance here. This 4 hour, very small 4 hour imbalance here. Does it look nice? Not really, but was it being respected? Yes. So nonetheless, you could have gone, right, okay, let's drop down to the lower time frame. What kind of position can I get? Well, okay, look, there is a very big 1 hour imbalance from here to here. So that there, even if you take an entry off of this candle close here, yes, you would have been in profit, yes, it would have come back up, but GJ is very much like that. I said this to a guy the other day who messaged me asking, oh, you know, I'm thinking about just doing focusing on GBPJPY and just trading that pair. My initial response to him was, bro, have you learned how to trade EU or GU? No. Go to those first, bro, because things on GU and EU are definitely a lot more clearer than what they are on GJ. GJ can do some absolute fuckery stuff for no reason at all. And I've had multiple examples of this where it is just basically you know, on, I don't know, before London Open, just dump, then reject within a 5-minute candle off of the back of nothing, okay? So those sort of things tend to not happen on GU or EU without there being some volatility news. GJ can do that just off the back of fuck all. That literally can just dump, reject, wick back up, you know, 20, 30 minutes before London Open. And it's almost like the Asians just wanted to fucking set the London low, or the low of the day or the high of the day, and just make it near on impossible for London session to get up there or something. It's weird. So I say, when you are looking to get into this and actually learn a pair, start on something like EU. EU is a hell of a lot more easier to read. Don't get me wrong, it hasn't been over the course of the last week, but look, it is still a hell of a lot. Like, without me even looking right now and printing up a setup, I can already see, look, this 4-hour imbalance that I'd marked out would have been a setup right there. You know, an up down candle close, you know, this 4-hour candle shot up, swept this liquidity, next 4-hour candle dumps down, basically invalidated that 4-hour bullish engulfing candle. But again, also I could have lined this up with a fib level, fib retracement. Why did I not pick that up? There we go. Fib retracement. You know, that there. Regardless of this move, yes, okay, you probably would have got faked out there. But this is what I'm saying. The market has been a bit washed with all this stuff going on. But, you know, if you'd stuck it out and saw how it had rejected again into this area, then look, it basically shot all the way down to the gold minus 27 extension. Same sort of thing on GU. GU, I'd said about this, these two imbalances here, but this one especially, and this again, dumped back down. Came up into, you know, a premium area and then collapsed. Wasn't quite where I had kind of wanted, but I definitely think that GU will get back down into, you know, 123.5 maybe next week before it sees a leg up. You know, but then we've got these imbalances here that we can target to maybe continue to the downside, because, you know, GU has been pushing, so is EU. Oil, I've literally stuck away from oil. You know, all of this is still very, very consolidated, so I have not been even paying attention to it. GBP AUD, I was waiting for this on Thursday, Friday. Again, didn't really get to where I wanted it. But again, it rejected the 50% level. And then did take a push up. But it's one of those, you know, to me, I'm being a lot more stubborn when it comes to waiting for setups, and if it doesn't meet my area, I just don't take it. But, you know, some people might have just been reactive and just but I mean, look, this is the price action of GA for the last, you know, couple of weeks. It's not been very nice. It's not been very easily tradable. So you do have to be wary and do have to take that into consideration. But let's go over the gold setup. Like I said, now we had this very small imbalance right around here. Okay, this was around the area that I sent, 23.31, I think it was 23.29. Saw this, you know, it did invalidate it, but then I was like, okay, do you know what? Maybe it's not good. But then I saw this hourly candle push back up, and I was like, okay, maybe this is the area that it is going to reject from, regardless of that imbalance getting invalidated. And then when I saw this kind of doji candle, indecisive candle, dropped down to the lower time frame, kept on looking, and yeah, like I said, this bullish momentum candle pull back into this tiny imbalance. You can't really see it because there's so much shit on my screen, but tiny imbalance area. This was, right, yeah, get in. This was the entry. So this was the entry, and it was a very, very tough hold, I'm not gonna lie. We had this, so I was right, I wanted to see the break of structure to the upside from this high. We didn't get it. It rejected, it basically came back down. But I've been very kind of stubborn with this and said to myself, I'm not going to be as aggressive as moving my stops to entry as I have been in the past, because I've done that in the past with gold and actually got stopped at entry. So I didn't want to be making that same mistake again. If I had a big target like that, I thought, you know what? I've only put 0.5% risk on the table, so why not just leave the stops where they are, let the thing play out. And I'm glad I did, because once we started making this push again and we did break these highs, I was like, thank fuck. You know, I saw more momentum in the market, so I think around about here was where I said stops to entry, and it continued to push. And I did pre-close in the groups, which it was only 20 pips off take profit, but some guys did actually hold till 23.75. I'll show some screenshots of the profit results. This guy got actually a lower entry, 23.26, but you know, the reason why I give an area out in the channel is so that people that do actually have the time can zone into the chart and see how price plays out and potentially get a better entry than what I've sent. You know, the entries are just a guideline, especially with golds. I'm a lot more precise with my entries on pairs, but gold you have to be have a little bit of movement in between, not massive. I've seen some groups that send out like 60 pip areas to take the trade from, and that's just a little bit too much. Mine's normally only around a 30 pip area, but this guy got in at 23.26 and closed at 23.75. This guy, look, 23.29. He held till take profit 2, which is fair enough. You know, not everybody has got it in them to hold the whole way, but he closed at 23.63 as well. So he made a decent percentage gain on his account. This guy, 23.32. He didn't hold all the way, but again, it does happen. People don't always have that kind of confidence to hold out. This guy just seemed to be taking buys all the way up, so fair enough. It is what it is. Like I said, people do just do their own thing sometimes when it comes to setups. So that's what I'm saying in regards to gold. Due to the fact that we have had a lot of, you know, sticky news for gold, and you know what's going on in the world with the war and stuff. That's what I believe is going to happen with gold on market open. Now, in regards to pairs and forecasts, look, we're in a bit of a sell-off at the moment, so I'm only going to be looking for shorts. There could be a potential long position on GU once I see how it reacts to this imbalance here. Because on the downside, there's not really much else, but I would see this for just being a very small retracement back up. So small retracement back up to 26 potentially, and then another push back down, because we have got, I think on the weekly side, you know, this kind of order block area here. So like I said, overall, we could see 120 flat. Test this neckline again of this V bottom, which was a very, very aggressive dump down, and then potentially make our way back up to the upside. Euro USD, don't really trade it, but it's probably going to be the same sort of concept. Yeah, see how it reacts to this daily imbalance here, and then potentially take a buy position, a long position. You know, back up, because look, we've got a nice kind of downtrend going on, which we can use these the trend line tool. Don't know why it's that long. Fuck me. Let's get rid of that. So we have got this nice downtrend going on. You know, again, A, B, C. You know, and then it was D that actually took the shit. So fair enough. It's not always the C bounce that does it, but even though the C bounce did have a nice push down, you know, we would want to see, you know, this, how it reacts to 106 flats, 106 flats, see how it reacts to this, and then target this trend line again, this imbalance here. So a good, you know, 200 pip move if you go from this area, if you have a look for an area, sorry, a position from this area, this sort of area, that's a good 200 pip move from Euro USD. So that's something I could potentially look at next week as well. GA is just sloppy. A, B, C. Maybe let's see how D, what happens if D, you know, D comes up and tests the trend again. But it's very, very sloppy at the moment. Very, very ugly. GBPJPY. GBPJPY again, we did just tap into this area as well. You know, 190 is holding strong at the moment. 190 is holding strong, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. You know, do we have another fill of this imbalance, another rollover? Because I still feel like we've got some downside corrections to do on JPY pairs. They've been very, very strong, and JPY has been very, very weak for the last, I'd say, couple of months. So some downside I would like to see. But yeah, with gold, I'm going to literally wait until this evening to see how that happens. Do you know what? I might even do a live stream tonight. I might go on live on Twitch. I might also see if any of the guys in the group are on, and we can do maybe a little live trading session. See if there's anything that we could potentially pick up on gold and potentially trade. You know, jump in on what could potentially push gold further up. You know, if you are watching this video today, drop a comment in the comment section saying go on Twitch, do a live, whatever, because I will do that. I don't want to do it on TikTok because TikTok just keeps banning me every time I put a fucking chart up, so I might have to go over to Twitch and just do it on Twitch and stream that. So anybody that is watching this video, drop a comment down below and say if that is something that you want to happen. But yeah, so that is my outlook, and that is what happened in the group. I will go over the group now and just show you what we actually ended on. Weekly pip count, wherever you are. Where's the weekly pip count? Right. So this is Archie's trades. He ended on 381 pips. He took a few losses on Friday from gold, but you know, it is what it is. Some people like trading Fridays. I don't personally, so that's why I don't trade them. Connor, 110 pips, didn't take a loss, 4 trades, 4 wins. Myself, 5 trades, 2 losses, and 3 wins. So 430 pips for the week for me. Calvin, 2 trades, 1 loss, 1 win for 60 pips. He needs to pick it up, but whatever. Yeah, so it was a decent week. People at the end of the day have been taking their own setups as well. So, you know, maybe they might be a little bit more up. Look, people, they're trading BTC as we speak. This is literally 10:33 p.m. I don't know why it says p.m. because I've got my fucking date and time set to p.m. not a.m. But yeah, guys are taking BTC trades by themselves. And this is what I'm saying about the group. This is why I like the group and how I've set it up, is because, you know, even if I haven't got any setups, these guys are still trading and taking their own setups, sharing their own analysis, chart work section. Look, guys are throwing out their own chart work, saying, right, this is what I think is going to happen. This is what I'm in. This is what I'm taking. Look. This guy's taken a buy on gold, 23.91, and, you know, showing that he's actually taken the trade himself. Fair enough. You know, a lot of gold analysis, like I said, gold seems to be the fucking main traded pair and I think all groups, you know, just missed TP by 0 pips. 0.1 pips. It happens, bro. Like, don't worry, it happens. You know, also, guys taking sports betting. This is also over the weekend. Guys are taking sports bets. You know, so when people say to me, "Oh, £100 a month for your group is a little bit much," well, no, it's not, because these guys have made their £100 monthly subscription from a couple of bets on the weekend. Cash out 120. Okay, well, he's paid his monthly subscription. You know, not even from the trading side. Crypto side's been a little bit slow this week. Haven't had anything from the crypto guy this week. But yeah, you know, that is the group. I show you every single week what the group is, how it works, how it functions. We've got 516 members in there. So if you want to get involved in that, just drop me a DM on Instagram and I will send you through the link. And you can be involved in this. It is a good community. Women as well. There is a few women in here as well. So it's not just lads, and don't get me wrong, the lads are very respectful towards the females that are in the group, so don't be hesitant if you are a female and want to get involved in this, because the lads are very respectful. If they're not, I will put them in their fucking place. There's no discrimination. All women can trade as well, as much as men. This is a gender pushed fucking industry. You can be a man, you can be a woman and trade in the markets. Everybody can make money. So look, that is the group, guys. If you want to get involved in it, just drop me a message on Instagram and I will set you up. Right, so there you go, guys. That is the weekly breakdown, weekly forecast video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a bit of insight into what could potentially coming up this week. And yeah, we will have to see how gold opens tonight. On market open, it could be very, very interesting, very, very volatile. So, you know, that's why I'm thinking maybe do a Twitch stream and actually show and, you know, see if there's anything that we could take. So yeah, like I said, drop this video a like, drop a comment down below if that's something you want me to do tonight, and I will get it sorted for you guys. But I will see you in the next video. Take care.